Alright, so I'm going to be opening up and disassembling this ASUS ROG or Republic of Gamers model G701V. So the model number would be here. They have the exact model number here. It's G701VI-XB72K. Alright, we're going to use a PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver most likely. And then we're also going to use a needle to help pull these pieces out, or some tweezers. We'll try with the tweezers. And let's go ahead and get these rubber pieces out. So we can grab this. Okay. So the customer told me that they already took this out before. So they said that it's somewhat tough to get apart. So let's see. Yeah, these rubber pieces don't want to come out. There we go. Got part of it out. Let's go ahead and lift this out of the way. And you don't want to mix these pieces up. So you want to keep them in the pattern you remove them. All right. Let's see, there's some screws down there. We're just going to get all these rubber pieces out first. Okay. Again, you don't want to mix them up. There's the corners, and then there's these two, and then there's 4 at the bottom. But again, the customer did work on this before, or opened it up to do some upgrades, they said. So I don't know if anything is going to be mixed up or out of how it should be. So keep that in mind. All right. Alright, again, keep all these little rubber pieces in order. Seems like there was some adhesive in the bottom left corner. Alright. Okay, once you get all those rubber pieces off, yeah, it looks like the bottom corners had adhesive. I don't know if the other ones had adhesive too and the customer just took it out and tossed it somewhere. But anyways, next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and remove all the screws. All right, again, you want to keep them all in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that, flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got 4 here. Looks like we got 4 here, and then we got 4 at the bottom as well. Okay, but again, keep them in order. Again, I don't know if the customer mixed them up. The back 2 here are shorter than the other corner, and I'm pretty sure this corner is going to be long as well. Yep. All right, let's go ahead now and go down the center. This is also a short screw. Okay. This is also a short one. Okay, so it looks like all of these are going to be short screws except for the corners. All right, let's go ahead now and go along the front. All right, also a short one. Okay. Looks like all the screws appear to be about the same size except for the back corners where the hinges are. Alright, so keep that in mind. Alright, next thing we're going to do is remove the bottom cover, assuming there's no hidden screws or anything like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's see, where does it release here? Okay, I'm going to assume it releases right here. So it's just at the cover, not where the palm rest is, okay? So I'm going to get my fingernails in there. If you have plastic pry tools, you can use those as well. And let's try and push with my thumbs and pull with my fingernails and see if it pops out. And it looks like it's popping out. So we're just going to continue going all the way around. Just like this. Okay. And we got the whole front out. We're going to go along the sides now. Again, the customer worked on this before, so I don't know if the clips are weaker than they should be or anything like that, but so far they seem to be popping out without too much difficulty. Just going to continue going along the side, same thing, pushing with my thumbs and pulling with my fingers. Okay, so now we got all of the front and sides out, so let's see if we can wiggle this up or if we have to pry the back. Okay, I think we have to pry the back as well. So let's go around the back here and see where it separates. So it looks like it will separate up here, okay, not from here, from down here. So we're going to pull that and continue running my fingernail along as I pull on it. Okay. Wow, this side's actually a little bit tough. Let's go ahead and go on to this side. There we go. It's popping. You can hear it popping out. Okay. So this side appears to be a lot more difficult to pop out. Let's see, since we got the sides now, if the center will come out just from kind of wiggling it. Sometimes if you kind of move it around a little as you pull, it might come out. So let's see if that works with this model. Not really. Okay, so it looks like you are going to have to use some pry tools to get this open. So let's go ahead and continue popping this out. Okay. Alright, let's continue popping. Oh, that part popped back in. Alright, so yeah, this side is having a tough time popping up. Let's try with a little more force, pushing with my thumbs. Wow, that's tough. Okay, we're gonna try with some tools here, I guess. I'm gonna use this thin metal pry tool here and get along the front here. Okay, and see if we get any luck. Seems like it's locked right here. I don't know if there's any hidden screws, so let me see what we got. Sometimes what you do is you have to flip this over and these pieces might come out, but let's see here. Oh yeah, okay. So this piece comes out separately. So what we're gonna do, let's go ahead and pop this side up. Okay, and wiggle this around. Is it gonna come out or do I have to do something special? Okay, there we go. So this piece comes out. Wow, it's pretty dusty in here. And there are two screws here that seem to be holding it down. So that's a trick. Okay, I'm gonna brush this stuff off. I'm being lazy, I don't wanna take it outside to clean the dust off, so I'm just brushing it all over my desk. Okay, let's go ahead and blow the dust out here. All right, so we got that. Let's go ahead and remove these two screws here and see if that solves the problem. Okay, these two screws are about as long as the two corner screws. They're the long ones, all right? So let's go ahead and set this aside now. Okay, and then you, as you can see, you can actually access all the hinge screws here, so that's kind of nice. All right, let's flip this over. Okay, and now let's go ahead and see if we can pop this cover up. Is it gonna come out or is it still gonna be a pain? All right, we're still having a little bit of a struggle, but I think it popped up more than before. Yes, okay. Carefully lift this just in case anything's attached. Nope. All right, so we got the bottom cover off here, as you can see. All right. Wow, it's really dusty in here. So I'm gonna dust this off real quick. This charge port, as you can see, is very, very beefy. Okay, it's almost like a power supply for a desktop, the connector here. But it disconnects with this. There's a push tab, and then while you're pushing that, you can pull this out. I'm gonna leave that in place. Got all of that. And the customer told me it's having issues powering up, so I'm gonna try resetting the BIOS and removing the battery. I'm assuming there's some 2 sticks of RAM underneath the motherboard, because as you can see, there's 2 slots here and they're completely empty. It says 3 and 4, so I'm assuming 1 and 2 are on the other side. Let me actually open this up and see if so the keyboard's not easily removable. So that kind of sucks. CPU and GPU are soldered to the motherboard. Let me zoom out again. Okay, and the heat sinks are just on top. I have someone here, so I'm gonna have to stop recording for now and I'll be back. But we'll get a thumbnail here. Okay, I'm gonna clean this all up and I'll be back. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, so I'm back. Cleaned out the inside here, cleaned out the fans and all the board, and then I just blew the dust off. All right, so again, there's 2 slots of RAM here. I'm not gonna take the entire motherboard apart or take it out. You got this LED control board here, speaker connector here. We are gonna take out the battery. Let me actually do that first so you can kind of see, and also it'll be safer since I'm gonna be messing with the entire internals of this. All right, looks like you can't zoom in all the way because my desk isn't large enough. All right, so this kind of connector looks like you just pull it up. I'm gonna use my fingernails here at the side edges and pull it straight up. Let's see if it comes out or not. Wow, this battery's tough. Okay, let me try and pry from one side first. Okay, it's easier from one side at a time. And then we'll pry from this side. And there we go. We got the battery disconnected. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to disconnect the CMOS or BIOS real-time clock RTC battery, whatever you want to call it. Just grab the wings and just wiggle it. Wiggle, 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 like this. And it should eventually pop out just like that. All right. Okay, other things in here, you got the SSD slot. I'm guessing this is a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD slot. All right, there's the screw mount right there. Okay, let's go ahead and actually lift the battery out so you can see underneath. I'm going to zoom out a bit. And let's see here. Okay, this battery is really big. We're using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to remove the screws. All right, again, keep all the screws in order. Okay. All right, there's 3 along the top, and then you got 1 on each side. Okay. All right, and then you got 2 down here. Okay. All right, so I'm taking this out so I can kind of show you guys what's underneath. Got those 2 out. Let's go ahead and lift the battery up and out of it. All right, there's a lot of dust under here, so I'm going to clean that up as well. Okay. Wow, it's pretty dusty. It's like a powdery dust, so it's kind of hard to get that dust off. All right, here we go. Okay, so the battery model number, if you need it, is right here, I believe. Actually, there's multiple numbers. It might be this, GB31241-2014. Actually, that might not be it. And then there's also this model number here, C32N1516. All right, there you go. Battery's all cleaned up. Here you can see the trackpad cable. All right, keyboard connectors right here. These have little flip latches that you flip it up and you can pull it out. There's this keyboard backlight connector here. You have this connector here for the the trackpad buttons. You got this again. Oops, this again for the lights here. Okay, you can see all the wires for the speakers going around underneath. All right, what else do we got that I can show without taking everything out? The fans you can probably take out with the 2 screws, but I'm not going to lift them. There's the connector right there. All right, LCD, LVDS connectors here. If you're going to mess with this, make sure that after you disconnect the battery, to open up the computer and press and hold the power button for 15 seconds to drain any residual power. You don't need to remove the CMOS battery to work on the computer. That just stores the date and time and things like that. All right, there's a small cable under here that I'm not sure where it's going to. Maybe I'll remove this fan just to see. Actually, there's 3 screws holding the fan in place. Same thing with this fan, 3 screws. You got the wireless card here, fan connectors right there, and then more speaker connectors here. All right, then you got this other cable going into the screen as well. Excuse me. And that is most likely for the camera, microphones, and things like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna open this up and press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds now. All right, oh, I'm gonna have to dust the inside of here too. So let's see, power button on this. Oh, it's in this corner here. So we're gonna hold that about 15 seconds, all right. And this, again, this will drain residual power from the computer, making it a lot safer to work on. Okay, so we're gonna hold it about 5 more seconds. Okay, should be good to go. Some people ask if they need to do it. You don't really need to do anything. If you want, even you can rip the motherboard out without taking out the screws, but you're going to destroy stuff. So it takes 15 seconds, just do it. And it can save you hundreds of dollars of damage to your computer, or even thousands depending on the computer. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead now and remove the 3 screws here. All right. And let's see if the fan will come out without having to take everything else out. I'm going to guess that this small cable is for the power button because the power button is on this side. Okay, so let's lift this if we can. All right. Oh no, it looks like they tuck part of the... That sucks. So they tuck part of the fan underneath the heatsink, I think, because it's... Oh, actually, is it coming out all the way? Oh, okay, never mind. They don't. And yes, I was right. The power button is right there. You can actually see the screws. Let's get some of this dust out if we can. Okay. All right, and I don't know why this was difficult to lift out, but we're gonna put it back in now. Okay, it goes in easily, so I don't know why it was difficult to lift. Maybe it was getting caught on that raised post right there, but yeah. All right, so that's pretty much all I'm gonna open up in here, because it does seem like it might be having a motherboard issue, and that I'm gonna have to have my partner work on. I am gonna try the BIOS reset just to see if that works. So after removing this battery, I'm gonna actually short the 2 pins here with a metal object. I'm using the screwdriver, and we're gonna short that out for about 15 seconds, and we'll see if putting it back together, if it works. I'm also gonna check the voltage of this battery just in case the battery is bad, but this computer is relatively new, so I kind of doubt that's the case. All right, but we'll check anyways. Okay, so we're gonna check the DC voltage here of this battery. Okay, so just gonna touch the 2 pins, and it's 3.14. You can't see it, 3.14, so it should be fine. All right, so usually the acceptable range is about 3 to 3.3 volts for this. All right, so let's go ahead and push this battery connector back in, just line it all up and pinch it back into place. All right, now we're just going to put the battery back in, and then we're going to see, oh, there's so much dust in here. Jeez. Okay, let me use some tweezers to get this out. I don't know if you can even see. Sorry, I was out of view. I don't know how there's so much dust inside all these cracks and crevices here. But, okay, we'll get that out. At least what we can. All right. All right, and let's blow the dust out of here. Wow, that's a lot of dust. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get the battery back into place here. Make sure you put it the right way. If you bought a replacement battery, make sure the red wires are going up this direction and the black wires are going down towards this direction. All right, you don't want to mix that up. Okay, let's get the battery back into place, and let's get the battery screws in. Okay. If you want to see the other side of the motherboard, you can likely look up the motherboard model, or look up this laptop model number and motherboard, and then if you go on like eBay or something, you can actually find people selling motherboards, and you can look at pictures of the other side. So that's what I do if people ask me to check the other side of the motherboard for what's upgradable. That's how you would do it. All right, so anyways, let's get all these screws for the battery back in, and then we're gonna reconnect the battery and see if it powers up or if anything even happens. We're gonna also check plugging in the power cable and see if the LED lights down there, indicator lights, come on. All right, so let's get these screws back in. All right, and let's go ahead and get the battery connector back plugged into place. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit again for you guys to see, but basically you just line it up and click it back down. All right, so get it all lined back up and click that back into place. All right, there we go. Let's zoom out again, and let's see if we get any power or if anything even happens when we try and power this up. So open it up again and push the power button, and nothing's happening. All right, let's go ahead and plug in the charger. This charger is ginormous, so let me go grab that and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So the reason why I feel it's a motherboard issue right now, let me see if I can show you. You can actually see the charge light is green, and then once I plug this in, it's most likely going to turn off. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug the charger in and see what happens. So you can see the green lights on, and there you go. The moment I just touched the plug-in, it already turned off. So that's basically it's shorting out the charger, or the charger's detecting it's shorted and it's shutting off. I don't know if it could possibly be the charge port itself. If it is, that would probably be a nice simple fix. Let's go ahead and remove the screws just to take a look. But if it's not, then it's likely going to be a more complicated motherboard issue. So let's go ahead and get all these screws out and see if we can pull out the charge port here easily or not. Right, it does move, but okay, so you do have to move this plastic out of the way, and then you can actually lift this up and out. Then we're going to remove this connector. Again, you push that down, and then you kind of just wiggle and pull this. Okay, it's already coming out. It's a little bit difficult to get a good grip on here, so you might have to use the wire a little bit to help pull it. All right, and just wiggle and pull, and there we go. So here's the charge port. By looking at it, I don't see anything wrong. Okay, at least externally. There's a very beefy charge port here. Okay, I don't see anything burnt or anything bent wrong in here. So it's kind of strange. I have a feeling it's all the dust buildup. Something shorted out the motherboard. But anyways, let's go ahead and put this back in. Okay, click that back into place. Pull the plastic back and drop it back in and get those 4 screws back in. Alright, and that's pretty much it for this quick look inside. I don't know if this video is going to help anybody since I didn't get to the main components. But if it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Other than that, we're going to get the bottom cover and the screws back in. Whoa, you don't need to see that far out. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Let's get the cover back on. And yeah, all right, so line everything back up. Okay, and I'm going to have to clean the dust out of the keyboard section as well. But yep, get that all lined up. Get this all lined up. Okay, this one seems a little tricky. There we go. Okay, and flip this over. Don't forget, there's 2 screws that were hidden under here. Okay, so get those 2 screws in first. Okay, just like this. Okay, then we're gonna put this plastic cover back on. Get it all lined up and click that into place. Okay, make sure everything is lined up. Good, looks good. All right, and let's go ahead and get all these screws back in. All right, again, you're welcome to stay as I put back all the screws and the little rubber pieces, but that's pretty much all there is to it. All right, let's get all these back in. All the screws. Okay, last 4, and then the rubber covers. Go. Let's go ahead and get the rubber covers. Again, these ones have some adhesive on them, so keep that in mind. And you can only put them in a certain way because of the slants and the way they're designed. Okay. All right, there we go. Next one. Okay. Got these ones here. Okay, the side ones. And I don't think you can mix these, so keep that in mind. You want to make sure to remember which one came from where. Alright. And that's pretty much all there is to this. Alright, get the last 2 in. Can't see from where I am. There we go. Alright. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, Let's drop this pipe.